In this very room, right here and right now, we are gathered together in our spiritual home on Zoom and Facebook to receive our spiritual sustenance. I recognize that spirit, that presence, that power, which is right here within each one of us. It's God. In the beginning, God. God is all there is. God is everywhere present. God is our guiding light. The oneness that is God is within and surrounds each one of us. I know that Spirit's presence fills this room with love and joy, wisdom, peace, harmony, and grace. I bless our media tech as the service flows with ease and grace, for the musicians whose words and voice enhance our service. I bless Neil as he is the vessel through which Spirit sends its message, knowing that what needs to be said will be said, and what needs to be heard will be heard. God is in the house, feel the presence, and so it is.
We believe in spiritual living. It is a philosophy that urges us to focus on how to think and not what to think. It invites us to practice this philosophy and apply it to our lives right now by living with principles. A relationship with God is a personal one. We believe that God is all that there is. Every person, place, or thing is not only an expression of God, but God itself. God is the absolute presence that not only creates, but is itself all things. All the love, peace, and beauty is in each of us as the presence of God right now. I know this of you too. You are just as divine because God is within you as well. Together we are all connected as one. Our faith allows us to apply our philosophy to our lives every day. As we live in love, we see love revealed and flowing through the world around us. We act as citizens of the spiritual community at all times. This is how we think. We believe in God, we believe in ourselves, and we believe in you, because we believe in spiritual living.
Good morning, Beaumont family. Ooh, I'm echoey. How are you guys doing this morning? I'm glad to be back with you this morning, filling in for Reverend Liz as she's continuing her healing journey. I'm glad to be back with you this morning. I think this is the second time I've been back. I've enjoyed the chance to be here with you this morning. The theme for CSL's Centers for Spiritual Livings around the country this year is Timeless Wisdom, Evolutionary Vision. And our theme for February is One Journey, Many Paths. So that's what I'm going to talk to you today about, is this idea of one journey and many paths. So there's a story about some kids that were learning about the world religions, and a teacher asked her students to bring a symbol of their family's faith to class. So the next day she asked each student to come forward and share this symbol with the class. So the first student said, "I'm a Muslim, and here is my prayer rug." The second child said, "I'm Jewish, and this is my menorah." The third child said, "I'm Roman Catholic, and this is my mom's rosary." The fourth child said, "I'm a Greek Orthodox, and this is an icon of my patron saint." And the fifth child said, "I'm a religious scientist, this is my potluck dish." So, I know that we are all missing our potlucks. We'll have to do a virtual potluck. Like this story, every path, every religious faith brings its own gift. And although it's funny, it's somewhat appropriate that the symbol of religious science would be a potluck dish, because it combines all of the essential elements, all the important parts of all the world's timeless wisdom and faith traditions. Ernest Holmes was called the great cementer, the great he brought a lot of synergy by combining all of the principles and practices and ideas of all of the world's faith religions into this idea, this philosophy that he called science of mind. So Ernest Holmes believed strongly that everybody was in the perfect faith for them. In fact, his original intention was not to create a religion or a faith on its own, but that people would add the science of mind philosophy to whatever religion and faith they already belonged to. So in his book, Can We Talk to God?, Ernest writes this: "Our conclusions have nothing to do with any particular creed, doctrine, or dogma. We are speaking of the essence of a true religious conviction which relates neither to Catholic nor Protestant, Jew nor Gentile. It means an inner conviction which is truly spiritual, no matter what the outward form of worship it takes. Religion is a reaction to humanity's spiritual inquiry, the outward form of an inward conviction. The outward form of an inner conviction. But all through the ages, those who have been truly spiritual, no matter what the outward form their conviction took, have had this in common. They have believed in something greater than they were, and a something which responded to them. This belief is the very basis of spiritual power. It is the fundamental principle of every religion. We do not need to discuss the merits or demerits of other people's religions. It is this idea that there is one thing that every world's religion, every faith tradition has in common. And that is that there is something greater than we are. And that something, which we call God or principle or presence or the one or love, whatever name you choose to give it, that thing, the thing itself, as Ernest likes to call it, responds to us. So what about you? Do you believe that there is a power greater than you are? Do you believe that that power responds to you? If you do, you're in the right place. But no matter where you are on that path, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here at the Center for Spiritual Living. Because that's why we're here, right? That is why we gather together on Sundays, whether in person or on Zoom. It's why we come together as a spiritual community. And during classes, during the week, and during book studies, and during sacred circles. We're here because we want to learn about this power that is greater than we are, that responds to us. This thing that we call church, that we call a building, that we call an organization, is simply the outward form of an inner conviction. It doesn't matter where we are, whether it be online or in person, in a building or on the internet. Every form that this takes is simply an outward form of an inner conviction. The belief that there is a power greater than we are, and that power responds to us. There's an old Japanese saying that goes like this: there are many paths to the top of the mountain, but the view is the same. What is that view? We believe that view is consciousness, light, and love. The destination is set. The destination is not in doubt for us or anybody else, no matter what faith tradition they come from. The destination is not in doubt. We are all going to make it to the top of that mountain of consciousness, of light, and of love. There is one journey, many paths. But when the destination is set, when we don't have to worry about where we're going, we know where we're going. The top view from that mountain is light and love and consciousness and awareness. When there's no doubt that we're going to arrive, then all that's left is the journey itself. What is it that we're meant to do on this journey? And who are we going to meet along the way? Ernest said that there's two things that every religion has in common: a belief that a power greater than we are that responds to us. But there are many other things that the wisdom traditions of the world have in common. Every major faith tradition in the world has a version of the golden rule. Treat other people how you would want to be treated. Or the platinum rule. Treat other people how they want to be treated. But something else that all these great faith traditions have in common is this idea of spiritual community. This idea that we are not built to travel this journey, this path alone. We are designed, we are built, we are meant to travel with other people. The simple truth is, while we are on our own individual journey towards the top of that mountain, we are joining together to walk this part of the path together for however long that lasts. Every path has obstacles. Every path has challenges, winding roads, potholes, and missed turnoffs. The good news is that we're not built to walk this road alone. If this pandemic has taught us anything, it is that we are inextricably connected, that community matters, that being together in infinite connections is important for our growth, for our awareness. And I know that this is something that CSL Beaumont has in abundance. This strong idea of spiritual community. You know, I used to worry a lot about whether or not I was on the right path. Does this sound familiar to you? Am I in the right job? Am I on the right path? But then I had an important realization, actually two of them. The first one is this: the path is so wide that we can never stray from it. So many of us have this idea that there's only one way to get to where we need to go, that we have to be on this path that is our life's path, or we have to be in this certain career, or we need to be in this certain relationship. But the truth is that the path to the top of that mountain is so wide, so big, and so expansive that you can never leave it. Our missteps, what we think are missteps, are automatically recalculated using our GPS, our God positioning system. Have you ever been in a car running the GPS and you make a wrong turn, and what does it say? Recalculating. Recalculating. Our lives are designed in such a way that the destination is never in doubt. Whether we turn left here or we turn right, the universe is such a vast intelligence that it will recalculate so that we arrive right at our destination, right where we were always meant to be. My second realization about this idea of being on the spiritual path is this: we walk the path, we make the path by walking the path. We make the path by walking the path. Sometimes that means that we can only see one step in front of us. We can only do what is ours to do in that moment, in this time, in this place where we are. Sometimes it just means taking one step at a time, one step in faith, stepping out in faith, knowing that for every time we take a step, the path appears. Every time we take a step, the path appears. The Buddhists have a saying that there are 84,000 paths to enlightenment. There are 84,000 paths to the top of that mountain. But I wonder if there's not 6.5 billion paths to enlightenment, because we are all on a path that is custom designed for us. It is right where we are, and it is everything that needs to be for our own enlightenment. So in the Bible, Matthew 22:37 gives us our guide to what to do, of what we are meant to do while we are walking this path together. It says this: "Thou shalt love the God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like unto it: Thou shalt love thy neighbor as themselves." This is the great commandment. It gives us our directions for walking this life path. Love God, love your neighbor. Love God, love your neighbor. Everything else is extra. I also like the way that the Message translation of the Bible translates this verse, and it goes like this: "Love the Lord your God with all of your passion and prayer and intelligence." Passion, prayer, and intelligence. This is the most important, the first on any list. But there is a second set alongside it. Love others as love others as well as you love yourself. Love others as well as you love yourself. These two commands are pegs. Everything in God's love and the prophets hangs from them. That's from the Message Bible translation. So this past year has been a challenging one for our community, for the world. There have been obstacles, there have been challenges, there have been winding roads, there have been lost internet connections, and missed turnoffs. But the good news is we are far from the end of our journey, and you are not alone. There is a power and a presence that is greater than you are, that responds to you. And all you need to do is take that journey, to take that one step at a time, to love God and to love your neighbor. We need spiritual community. When we wander off, when we forget who we are, when we forget what we stand for, we are always in a place where we are tempted to forget who we are. We are tempted to forget that we are always on this path. We are tempted to forget that our only job is to love God and to love each other. And that's why we are in spiritual community. We can lean on each other. We remind each other who and what we are. We remind each other who and what we stand for when we forget. Perhaps that's happened to you this year. I know it's happened to me. But spiritual community is where we love God, where we love that presence that is greater than we are, where we practice loving kindness and compassion towards each other. If you have forgotten who you are, if you have wandered off, or you have feel like you've fallen in a pothole, It's time to lean in. It's time to love up. And it's time to look around you. Because I know that this community, the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, is here for you. In his book, A Handbook for Spiritual Leadership, the Reverend Jim Lockhart says this: I see the beloved community as people on a spiritual pathway who seek a closer relationship with God, who take their spiritual awareness into the world to be examples of love and compassion in action. That is what we are called to do. We are called to take our spiritual awareness into the world, to be examples of love and compassion in action. Many paths, one journey. That journey is to love God and to love your neighbor. Be an example of love and compassion in action. Is there some part of that, maybe both, that you need to recommit to today? Do you spend every time in prayer, in meditation, in art, in music, being in relationship with the divine, being in relationship with that presence that is greater than you are and that responds to you? And how about the love your neighbor? Perhaps this is the area that you need to recommit to. How do you every day spend some time of every day connecting with the people around you, connecting to this spiritual community, supporting this spiritual community? Even if it's just a phone call, even if it's just a text or a card to let you know that you are thinking of them. Are there any areas of service here at Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont that could use your unique talents or skills? As a community, as this Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, are there ways that you have forgotten your core mission of loving God and loving your neighbors? Does everyone in this community feel seen, heard, and valued? If I know anything about the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, it is your strength, it is your sense of community. And that sense of community is not tied to this place, this building. And it's not tied to one person or one senior minister. I know that Reverend Liz might be on a different path than you are at the moment. But I know that the journey is the same. And the destination is not in doubt. I invite you this morning on an individual level and on a community level to take this opportunity to recommit and to remember that there is a power greater than you are, that it responds to you, and no matter what, our job is to love God, love our neighbors. There are many paths, but there is just one journey. And I'm going to close this morning with a meditation from the Science of Mind textbook, page 527. This is called "The Way is Made Clear Before Me." The way is made clear before me. I do not falter or fall. The way of the Spirit is my way, and I am compelled to walk in it. My feet are kept on the path of perfect life. The way is prepared before me, and that way is a path of peace, of fulfillment, and joy. The way is bright with the light of love and kindness. The way I tread is a pleasant and happy one. I see the way, and I walk in love in it. And so it is. So I invite you to join me in prayer this morning. And as we go inward, we recognize the oneness of God, the vastness, the allness, the isness, the perfect intelligence, the infinite love that God is. It is right where we are, right now. It is filling this time, it is filling this space, it is filling the heart and soul and mind of everybody within the sound of my voice this morning. I know that this river is so vast. It is a river of love, it is a river of intelligence, it is a river of peace. I know that that river is flowing in and through, and as each one of us here this morning, and I know and declare in this moment that we are all on a journey of a lifetime. It is a journey of love. It is a journey of peace. It is a journey of fulfillment and joy and happiness. And so I simply speak my word knowing that whatever is in the way of that flow, of that love, of seeing that divine and perfect right action in our lives, I know that it is now removed from our experience. Wherever there is doubt, there is now a sense of faith. Wherever there is fear, it is now replaced by a sense of peace. Wherever there is a feeling of disconnection or loneliness or depression, I know that that perfect divine love is simply swallowing up and sending it on its way. Because I know that there is no law, there is no principle holding these things in place. They simply dissolve back into the nothingness from which they came. And in its place is that sense of infinite connection, of community, of consciousness, and that knowingness that we are all on the right and perfect path for each one of us. We are right where we are meant to be, doing what we are meant to do in this moment. And whatever is needed for our journey to continue, it is present right here and right now. I speak all of this from a place of great gratitude, knowing that that presence that responds to us is responding to us now. And I release this word into the law, knowing that that law, which is cause and effect and which is perfect intelligence and perfect peace, is acting upon this word, this belief right here and right now. It is so, and so it is. And thank you.
Thank you for participating in our service. You can do online giving by texting GIVE to 951-420-6909. You can visit our website at cslbeaumont.org and click the donate button at the bottom or the top of the screen. Or you can mail your donation to Center for Spiritual Living, 802 Maple Avenue, Beaumont, California, 92223. If you enjoyed this service and are watching on YouTube or Facebook, please like and share this video and add a comment on it. If you haven't already on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and hit the little notification bell to be updated when we post new content. For those on Zoom, visit our Facebook page to comment and share to help spread this message.